All right, guys, today we're going to take a trip back in time. We're going to check out the new Peavey 6505 1992 original. Let's get started. Well, thanks for joining me for today's episode. And before we get started, I want to thank Motor City Guitar and their staff for allowing me to take this amplifier home so I can do a demo of it for you guys. And if you are interested in this amplifier or any other gear, feel free to click my affiliate link in the description and do some shopping at Motor City Guitar and get something awesome for yourself. You'll help out the store for, they're an awesome store. Why not help them out, send them some business for allowing me to do all these demos for you guys. And you'll help me out as well because, I do these videos for free. It doesn't cost you anything, so one way you can support the channel is to click that affiliate link and get something for yourself, and you'll help yourself as well by getting the piece of gear that you've been looking for, and you'll get a great deal on it. And if you play quad CORTEX or KEMPER, feel free to click my link in the description that takes you to my website, tonewars.com, and get some awesome preset and profile packs for yourself for either one of those devices. All right, so on with the video. Now, a lot of people have been asking me on social media, like, why did Peavey re-release this amplifier? Aren't there a bunch of them out there? Yeah, there's a whole bunch of old clunkers out there that people play, and God bless them, they're still working and stuff, but I've played a few of them on this channel, and they're noisy and rattly and beat up. And, a lot of them need to be retubed and, just old components, you know the drill on the old 5150s, And I'm glad they re-released this because for all the people out there who want to get one, but can't either because they're unavailable or when they do find one, it's just all beat to hell. I mean, now you have a chance to get a brand new version of it. And there's probably, some speculation out there like, oh, it's not really the real thing and blah, blah, blah. Just shut up with all that crap. I mean, this is the OG version. They spec'd out the transformers to be exactly the same. And, it's the old 5150 that we all know and love, except it's brand new. You can have a brand new version of the amplifier that just is on tons of albums, and it's an iconic freaking amplifier. I just think it was a brilliant idea. I really do, because again, there's a lot of people who want these. And if you guys remember a while back, the price of the OG 5150s was shooting through the roof. And this kind of solved that problem because now you can get a brand new version of that. And that kind of, rectified that. So I think it's a great thing that they did. So basically what you have as far as differences go, you have on the back, you can take it anywhere in the world. It has multi-voltage. It's like a switch on the back, and you can switch to any voltage. And the cable, the power cable, is not hooked to it anymore. It's a separate IEC cable that you can completely detach from the amplifier, which is also a really cool thing. So pretty much everything else is, I guess, the same about it. I mean, I guess you could switch to EL34s if you want, but you can't bias them, so be very careful with that. But other than that, I mean, everything else is, it's pretty much the same with the amplifier. And some people are probably wondering, like, well, why didn't they put new updated features on that? Well, if you remember, Peavey also built, other amplifiers with a bunch of features in them, and one of them is the Peavey Invective. So if you want that, I mean, you can get that amplifier. A lot of people are like, oh, I wish I had a noise gate in it. Well, I'll be honest with you. A good noise gate pedal like the Rev G8 will do a great job anyways, so just get one of those and you're good to go. So anyways, let's go ahead and dial in each one of the channels on this amplifier. I'm going to start with the clean channel, and then after that I'll switch the clean channel to crunch mode, and then after that I'll go to the lead channel. I'm just going to show you what the clean channel sounds like real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm going to start out without any effects on it, and then after I show you what it sounds like, I'll dress it up with some chorus and delay and show you what it sounds like then. So here are the settings. I have the bright switch engaged, which I highly recommend doing on this channel. And I have the EQ pretty much, at neutral settings. Boop, there we go. And I'll just show you what it sounds like real quick, and then we'll move on to the other channels. Oh, and by the way, I'm running through my Mesa 212 cab with vintage 30s, and the mics I'm using are a Royer 121, which is a ribbon mic paired with a dynamic mic, the Shure SM57. All right, pretty nifty sounding channel. Like I said, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, but let's just dial it in real quick and throw some effects on it and move on. Okay, pretty straightforward. So I'm going to turn on the Julia chorus and the flashback 2 delay, and let's see what it sounds like. Good clean channel. Is it the best clean channel I've ever heard? No, but it's doable. Throw some chorus and delay on it and you're good. That's typically how I do clean channels. Just a couple of effects and usually you're good. I think it sounds good. I would take this on stage and play it with this clean channel, and then I would use the lead channel for my rhythms and leads. No problem. So let's go ahead and switch over to the crunch mode, and I got to adjust my volume here because I got it set pretty high for the clean channel because I have the gain way down. So let's dial in the crunch channel. Now, this is a really flubby, gooey channel, but when you hit it with a boost, it actually tightens up and does pretty well. But let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to leave the bright switch in for this because I don't know, I think it helps it out a little bit. So here we go. Oh, overdrive's off. I'll boost it after I dial it in. All right, so that's, that's the crunch mode there. I mean, it's not super awesome, but when you tighten it up with a boost, it actually does tighten up pretty well. And it's a good, it's a good classic rock channel. So let's go ahead and gauge the boost. I'm using the Grid Slammer today. Level's all the way up, gain is all the way down, tone knob is cranked all the way up. And let's see how it sounds with that. In fact, you know what I'll do? I will engage it as I'm playing. So it's off right now, and I'll turn it on as I'm playing, show you how it interacts with the amp. right, so the gain on this particular channel gets kind of muddy after 3 o'clock, so I backed it off a little bit, and cranking the gain doesn't really help it anyways. You know, it just gets kind of goopy. So even with an overdrive on, the gain just kind of adds to the goopiness. But, you know, let's see what it sounds like with some good classic rock riffs real quick, and just show you that, and then we'll move on to the lead channel. Not bad. I mean, it does the trick for that kind of music, you know. I mean, if you're looking for like mid-gain type stuff like the 80s, I mean, this channel will do it. It's still a little bit goopy for me, you know, but I mean, in a pinch it would work. You know, there's definitely enough gain there. It's just, it's kind of a flubby channel. It just is. There's really not much you can do about it. But anyways, if I use this amplifier, I would set it up with channel 1 being the clean channel and channel 2 being the rhythm and lead channel. That's just how I would do it. But I just thought I'd show you that channel for the people who are curious. So now let's switch over to the lead channel and see how that sounds. All right, so let's set everything back to noon. And switch to the lead channel and give that a quick dial in. And I'm going to start with the pedal off. And once I get it sounding good, I'll slam it with the overdrive pedal. All right, I could spend all day turning knobs and trying to look smart, but there's no need to. I mean, these are the settings. It's pretty much the 666 thing with this amplifier, and then you put the presence up here. And yeah, and the thing is too, with the gain, you don't want to turn the gain up too high on this one, on this channel either. It just gets really muddy. The gain isn't all usable on this amplifier. All right, so you want to be careful what you do with the gain. And this also needs a boost. I mean, it's pretty, it's pretty loose. It's definitely, in my opinion, it's definitely looser than the 65052, according to my memory. I don't remember that amp being as loose as this, but as long as an amp takes a boost well, I don't care about the fact that it's loose, as long as it's not too loose like channel 1 is. Channel 1 is like, even with a boost, you're like, it's still a little goopy. But let's see what this sounds like when I engage the boost. Sounds a lot better. You got a lot more texture and aggression. Definitely really good feel and response, and yeah, better top end. So let's just do some monkeying around with the knobs. I mean, we've all seen this amp, you know. I just doing it just for the hell of it, for people who've never seen one of these amps before, for the one guy, you know. So let's see. Yeah, so right after 11 o'clock, or what is that, 4 on the gain, you start noticing that it's starting to get kind of goopy and flubby. So, or muddy, I don't know, whatever the freaking word is. You definitely don't want to crank the gain all the way up on this amplifier. It just gets really just muddy and crappy sounding. But, so the gain is not all usable. Now, the more modern amplifiers, I mean, a lot of them anyways, the gain is mostly usable on those, and that's kind of cool. But I mean, all you need is around 11 o'clock or 4 on this amplifier anyways. It's got plenty of gain. You don't have to worry about that. So let's do some riffs with these settings now. I think I have it at its optimal settings. The boost pedal's working really well with it, and let's just mess around with it some more. Yeah, it's a really nice thick top end on this amplifier. It sounds good. I mean, I can see why this amplifier is like, you know, the birthplace of all things metal from here on out. I mean, it's just such a great amp. Now, the 6505-2, I believe, is around $1,500. This one is $1,299. So if you really want to save some money, you know, you can get this amplifier. The main differences between the two are, you know, the 6505, you know, the 1992 version basically doesn't have two separate EQs and two separate resonance and presence controls for the channels. So that's a pretty big difference between them. I think the gain structure and the tightness level on this amplifier is a little different as well from the 6505-2. This is a little looser. It's definitely looser, but hey, I tightened it up with a boost pedal and it sounds fine. So I wouldn't worry about that at all. I would not hold it against it, you know, and I just think the high gain channel is really good. It's got that classic, awesome, beastly tone that we all love, and I definitely understand why Peavey re-released this amplifier, because once again, you can't get these anymore. You just can't, and when you do, they're just beat up pieces of crap, you know, for the most part. There's probably some good ones out there, but for the most part, they're all just beat to hell, man. They're just so old. So it's nice to be able to have a new version of that amplifier now and to go, hey, I can still get the OG tone, you know, and it sounds great. I used to have one of these. I mean, back in the day, I bought one and I loved it. I thought it was a great amp, and this is very reminiscent of that. And don't let all the cork sniffing idiots tell you, oh, it's not even the same thing and it's different. Shut up. You guys need to freaking get a life. It's very much the same thing. Yeah, there might be a couple of minor differences in the components here and there, but for the most part, it's the same freaking amp. So don't listen to people who tell you it's not, you know. In fact, I think it's better because it's not beat to hell. And it's got new tubes, new components, you know, in it. And I love the fact that the IEC cable is detachable, you know, and if you do travel with it, you don't have to worry about, you know, the voltage, you know, when you go to different countries. So with that, let's end this video with a quick mix, and we'll call it a day. Man, that sounded freaking good. It sounds great with this guitar. This guitar is drop tuned way down to C sharp standard. So it's way down, and this is 6-string. I don't play this guitar very often, but even with a guitar that's dropped that low in tuning, it still works with this amplifier. So don't think that you have to buy a modern amp to play modern tunings. You really don't. This amp does it, and it does it very, very well, as you heard. I mean, it's very aggressive. You know, let me play a couple more riffs for you on it. It sounds freaking killer. That sounds amazing. Yeah, I would, I'd totally buy this amplifier if I was in the market for something like this. I really would. Sounds really good with all these different tunings. I mean, it does metal very well still. I mean, it's a great amplifier. So if you got, like, you know, $12.99 burning a hole in your pocket and you want to finally get your hands on an OG 5150, here's your chance. You know, it's very, very reminiscent. It's everything that amplifier was. It really is. And I like the fact that they changed the fact that you don't have to have that stupid power cord hooked up to it permanently, because once that goes bad, if it ever gets snagged on something, goes bad, you got to freaking have a technician replace it, and that would suck. So now it's detachable, and I like that feature as well. And you know, people might say, oh yeah, you should change the tubes at EL34s. You can't bias them, so don't do that. Just keep it 6L6, man. I mean, that's the sound of this amplifier, and I think they did a great job with it. I really do. And you know what's funny is like I said earlier in the video, I had a couple of OG 5150s on here, and even the people watching were like, I don't know, man, that thing doesn't sound right. I mean, it probably needs to be retubed and went through, and maybe they were right. I don't know. I didn't have a new one to compare it to, you know, but now we do have new versions of these, and if you really want to get one, like I said earlier, now's your chance. I mean, it's awesome. I think it's really cool. And I'm glad that Peavey's doing this so they can meet different price points for people. You know, if you want something with a ton of features, get the Invective. If you want something that's kind of in between, get the 65052. Or if you want just that OG tone, you don't want all the bells and whistles. You just want to plug into it, use an overdrive pedal, and freaking, you know, burn the house down. I mean, freaking get the 6505 1992. I mean, it's just freaking awesome. Sounds really good. So anyways, well, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And again, shout out to Motor City Guitar. Thank you so much for allowing me to take this home so that I can do a demo with it. I'll also be shooting it out with the Iconic very soon. They're similar because they both have shared EQs, so I thought that would be kind of cool to do that for you guys. And I've been having requests for it as well. So stay tuned for that video. And to all my subscribers and Patreon supporters, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. And if you're new to the channel and you like how I do things here, feel free to subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I either go live or come out with a new episode. Well, I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.